Hi everyone, this is Julie with Beadaholique, and in this video I want to show you how to make a really sweet daisy chain earring. So I made this earring to go with the dress that I have, and this is the color palette. This is actually the belt, and in another video I've shown you how to choose your color palette based off of a wardrobe piece that you really love. So what's great about these is they are really lightweight, which is always nice for a pair of earrings, and you can make them as long or as short as you want and in any color. So the main seed beads here are all Toho, size 11-0, and I've picked out turquoise and white and then green for the leaf, as you see here in my color palette, so that was real easy, and then a pretty little check glass bead for the center. So a lot of options on what you can do with these. So you do need 3 colors of seed beads. You're going to need a green for the leaf and then 2 colors, and then a little center bead. And also you're going to need an earring hook. So those are the only supplies that you're going to need, but for tools, you're going to need a needle, and you're going to need chain nose, and you're going to need a little pair of thread snips. Oh, and you will need some type of thread. I'm using smoke. I really like the smoke because it doesn't show up very much with my bead weaving. So once you've gathered all your supplies, you're going to pre-string onto your needle, and I'm just actually going to get an earring hook for us right here. Sorry about that. I'm going to pre-string onto my needle 28 inches of my thread, and I am not going to tie a knot. So there is no knot at my end, but what there is going to be is the first loop of beads. So I'm going to start by stringing on 5 of my leaf color. So 3, 4, and 5. So they're just on my needle. And now what I'm going to do is pull them all the way down to the base so that I am within about 6 inches. Once I've done that, I'm going to make a loop. Now it's important that you leave a good 6 inches because you're going to restring your needle onto this at the end to tie in your thread. So I made a little loop, and you can see that down at the bottom of the screen. It's just a nice little leaf. And now I'm going to tie another knot just to secure it. Okay, and that is now good to go. Okay, so we've got that as our base. Now what we want to do is put on 1 more green bead, and now we're going to grab our center bead, which is that check glass, and we're going to grab some petals. So for this case, we're going to move this up a little for you so you can see it a little bit better. We're going to grab 3 of the turquoise, and that's just on our needle. Gonna get them all scooched down, and now pull them all the way to the base. Now we're going to go up through our check glass bead. So just grab that little check glass bead and go up through it and pull. So you're making a loop. I'm going to make sure that your tail is out of the way. And there we go. So we just made a nice little loop. Now we're going to do the other side of our flower, which is another 3 of the same color seed beads. So I've got all 3 of those. And I'm just going to go up through that center bead again. And again, you're just making a loop. So if you've ever done daisy chain before, it really is just a series of loops, which is fun. It's a fun bead weaving stitch. So there we've got our first flower. Hooray! Now we're going to string on 1 more green bead. And we're going to just, when I'm doing this, I'm just pulling that bead down. So that's basically my little spacer bead. So I have a little breathing room between my leaves and my flowers. And now I need another leaf. So for this, I'm going to do 5 seed beads. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And they're just all on my needle. And I'm going to scooch them on down. And then we're going to go through, not that first spacer bead. So we got 6 beads on here. So not the first one we strung, but the second one, the first of that segment of 5. And we're going to just put our needle through it, hold it, and make a loop. And that loop basically just made us another little petal. Now we're going to use that bead that we just went through as the first bead for the second petal on the other side. So instead of needing 5, you just need 4. So we're going to need 4 more of the green seed beads onto our needle. And what we're going to do is go up through that green bead and pull. So again, just another loop. And kind of occasionally just tug at your beadwork a little bit, just kind of pull it down. But we've got a flower and we got 2 leaves up top of it now. And now we need another flower, and we're just going to do the same segment. I'm going to move that out of the way so we can see a little bit better. So we do want a spacer bead, so I'm going to put that on my needle, and then I'm going to pick up my center bead, and then after that I'm going to go ahead and pick up my white beads, because my white beads are going to be my second flower. And I got too many. You want 3 each time, and pull them on down. And then once you've pulled them down, you're going to go up through that center bead. Okay, 1/2 of our white flower is now done. So now we're going to do the other half. 1, 2, 3. Pull those down onto your needle and go up through your center bead again. Pull your needle, make that nice loop. There they go. It's always fun to see. And you have your second flower done. So now we're going to add another green spacer bead. And after we've done that, we need to do our cluster of leaves again. So same pattern as before. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Onto our needle. Pull it on down. Go through not the spacer bead, but the first of the 5 segment. Go up through it. Hold it. And kind of scoot it down a little. You can just kind of tug on it. There you go. And now for the second leaf, we only need 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Go up through it. There we go. And now we're going to add our last flower. So we need a spacer bead, a center bead, and turquoise again. So 1, 2, 3 turquoises. Pull them down on your needle and pull them all the way down to where you're working. Go up through your center bead. And it's nice that the center bead is not another Toho, and that's such a nice different color, because it does make it easier to keep track of what you're doing. Okay, we have 1/2 of that flower done already. Now we're going to do the other 1, 2, 3. Go up through your center bead. And move these out of the way. It's easier to see this looping process. Okay, there we go. And now we're going to do our final cluster of leaves. We have another spacer bead. We're going to add 5 more beads. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Pull those guys down as well. Go up through the first one in the segment of 5. Okay. Make a loop. Now we're going to do the other leaves. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we're going to go through that middle one again. And we're going to pull. So now you've got the 2 right there. And now we just need the final one, which is actually going to be the loop for our earring hook. And for this one, we're going to do another 5. You can see those. Oops. There we go. All of them are on there now. And move my little thread snips. Pull them down. Get that tail out of the way. It keeps wanting to sneak in there. We'll take care of it soon enough. All right, so now after you've done that, what you're going to do is you're going to go back, down through, actually I should say up through, the first one of that segment of 5 and pull it down and make a loop. And there's your little top loop. So now you have a really pretty cluster of 3 leaves up top and 1 little leaf down at the bottom. And now what you can do is you can run your needle through your beads to make it extra secure and a little thicker up there, and then start to go through your adjacent beads. So you're seeing we're just weaving that tail in. And we're going to take it down a little bit further. Okay. And then I like to even run it down the center. You notice I haven't tied it off yet because I just want to make it extra secure. Okay, so now I'm going to run it through the center. And now I'm ready to make a knot. To make a knot, just loop under the thread. Make a little loop, go through your loop, and make sure it doesn't catch on your beads. There we go, we have a knot. And you could make another knot for good measure. And pull. Once you got your knots, you can snip off your thread. Okay, so we are almost done. Okay, so remember you had your tail and it was a good 6 inches long. So we're going to go ahead and string our needle back on it. And I like to always flatten the tip. I just take it between my nails and my finger and I just flatten it a little bit. It makes it a little easier to thread on. We've got that. We are just going to do the same thing we did up top. So we're going to take our thread and I'm actually going to go ahead and run it through my center again and kind of pull it away from that end area. And I'm just going to catch it under, kind of expose a spot here. Catch it under it and pull. And because I already had a knot previously, I actually double knotted it before, I feel pretty good about just snipping it. So I'm going to do that right now. There we've got our another little daisy chain. And then to put your earring hook on is quite simple. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our chain nose pliers and we're going to take our earring hook. And if you notice the base of our earring hook, it has a little loop. And it's actually what's called an open loop because you can just open it just like a jump ring. So I just twisted it a little bit. And we're going to go from our end that has the 3 cluster for our leaves, put it on and close it on up. And just make sure that you close it really good because you've got just a string up there. So you want to make sure it's closed really good. And there you go. So you've got another earring. And now I'm going to have to make another one because I have an odd number for a pair of earrings. But that is how you make a daisy chain earring. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you want more daisy chain projects and a daisy chain bracelet and a little variation on this design, please check out our other videos here at YouTube and also at beadaholique.com. Thanks for watching.